As a mind thinketh. The text in context, for as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, saith he to thee, but his heart is not with thee. That line isn't about creative power. It's about duplicity. It's double-dealing. It's deceitfulness. It's two-facedness. It describes the man who smiles with his mouth and hides a knife behind his back. The verse isn't praising thought. It's exposing the split between saying and being. And that split, the double-mindedness, is the entire mechanism of the ego. Why there are no private thoughts. Mind isn't in the skull. The skull is in mind. The brain is just the radio, not the broadcast. Mind is the ocean, and thought the wave. A wave can't claim private water. To imagine private thought is to imagine a wall in the sea. Boundaries belong to form, and form itself is imagined. Every thought sends ripples through perception's field. Fear makes the tide heavy. Love makes it clear. That's why the Course says thoughts are never solitary. Each one publishes itself as a world of witnesses. What you think is hidden inside your skull actually paints the scenery you call reality. It's not private. It's just unrecognized authorship. The mind writes the script, forgets it wrote it, and then reacts to its own movie. Like Adam Grant in the Twilight Zone episode Shadow Play, played by Dennis Weaver, who keeps dreaming his own trial and execution. Each time he dies, he wakes to relive it again, surrounded by the same faces rearranged into new roles. One night the prosecutor becomes the judge. The journalist becomes the executioner. The story changes, but the guilt stays the same. Grant begs them to understand that none of it is real, that they are characters in his dream. But they laugh and carry out the sentence. He is the dreamer of the dream who can't convince his projections that they're projections. That's the human condition in miniature. The mind arguing with its own hallucination. The dreamer, the accused, and the executioner are one. And until the mind accepts that, the loop continues. We sit in the theater blaming the actors, the props, the lighting, even God, and never notice the pen in our own hand. A quote-unquote private thought is only undisclosed authorship of a public dream. The dreamer projects, forgets, and then suffers the projection. Secrecy is the ego's last defense. Keep this thought to yourself. But the world already knows. It's showing you what you think of yourself. What's hidden isn't private. It's published as circumstance. The inner and the outer are the same page. The world is the newspaper of the mind. Every headline, every byline, every photograph in the outer world is just the mind's internal content put into print. When a grievance stays unhealed, it doesn't vanish, it gets published. When a fear is buried, it resurfaces in form, in a relationship, a diagnosis, a delay, a face, a post, a war. The Course says, ideas leave not their source. That means what's thought remains joined to the thinker. But it also takes shape in perception, the visible addition of the invisible thought. It's like this. A thought of lack becomes a world of shortages. A thought of unworthiness becomes a stage full of rejection. A thought of guilt becomes a courtroom full of witnesses. The outer world is the press release of belief. You're not reading the news, you're reading your own mind. Look at it, and the secrecy collapses. Why mind cannot be divided? People think there's more than one mind because they see disagreement. They see billions of bodies and assume billions of minds. But that's like looking at waves and forgetting the ocean. Each wave rises, peaks, and crashes, but it never stops being the same water. You can scoop a cup of it and call it mine, but the moment you pour it back, you can't tell which drop was yours. That's how it is with mind. Every thought, every life, every seeming identity, just temporary shapes in the same awareness. So when the Course says the mind cannot be divided, it means there's only one dreamer watching itself from many angles. The quarrels, the politics, the family feuds. That's one actor arguing through different masks. It's a ventriloquist show in which all the voices come from the same throat. When one puppet blames another, nothing actually happened. It's all the same hand underneath. That's why fixing fragments never brings peace. You can move the furniture around inside the dream all you want, but you'll still wake up in one bed. Wholeness doesn't come from mending parts. It comes from remembering the parts were never real. There's only one mind, dreaming it left home, and the dream keeps talking to itself. Peace returns when it stops pretending to be more than one voice. How projection works. As the mind believes about itself, so it perceives. I'm unworthy creates a landscape of rejection. Men are cheaters populates a world of betrayal. People are selfish builds a city of takers. Nothing outside moved. The film reel changed. Belief shapes expectation. Expectation edits perception. Perception records proof. Then the ego says, "See, I told you so." But it's only reacting to yesterday's screenplay. Change the projector and the picture shifts. Awaken from the theater and the film stops rolling. That's the secret hiding in plain sight. The world doesn't happen to you. It happens from you. The mirror, the illusion, and the better move. Changing belief polishes the reflection. Seeing the mirror itself as illusion ends the need to polish. The reflection is the mind's own face disguised as the world. When that's seen, judgment dies. Attack dissolves because there's nothing left to defend. The goal was never prettier reflections, but the remembrance of light that needs none. The ego's counterfeit. Say love, mean fear. Eat and drink, says the man, while counting the cost. That's bargain love, the ego's finest export. Give to get, smile to control, praise to possess. The ego even steals the proverb to sell self-improvement. Change your thoughts, change your life. But the self that tries to change is the mask itself. A mask can frown or grin, but it never becomes the face. This verse is warning, not empowerment. Beware the heart that smiles and schemes at once. The holy flip. From self-improvement to remembrance. Life doesn't need fixing, only perception does. Forgiveness doesn't mean overlooking what happened. It means recognizing nothing real was threatened. The world is guilt projected into color and motion. When guilt is released, images lose gravity. Peace isn't earned, it's remembered. Authorship is reclaimed, but not with pride, with peace. If I made the world, I can stop making it. Stopping doesn't mean killing, it means forgiving. Forgiveness says, I no longer believe what I made was true. And in that moment, the dream softens. The wave returns to the ocean. The author remembers it was never a character at all. You can rearrange the furniture, rewrite the script, or cast new actors. But when the projector goes dark, only the light remains. Because in the end, the ocean remembers it was never the wave. And the thinker was never the man, only the mind, awakening from its own idea.